So here we are, take Cluskey again, out on my walks, going a different way this time. Lovely park down by my place at Stanton Prior in Eastbourne, and it's been an old church here, and it's all been converted. You may see it a little bit in the background there, and it's been converted into these beautiful, beautiful flats. Look at that. A friend of mine actually bought one. He's in the property business. He bought one. I don't think he made much profit out of it. He bought it off, what they call off plan, but there we are. Oh, there's the church now. I just showed you. Look at that. Isn't that beautiful? There we are. And the guy who runs this, that's run as a function hall now for weddings and that, and it's absolutely gorgeous inside. Very echoey. But there we are. This is Deck Cluskey, Serious Writers Guild. 4 minutes on the net with Deck. Out on my walks again around Eastbourne. Why do I walk? To keep fit. You saw my workload. It's absolutely astonishing. I work so blooming hard. I shouldn't really. I'm trying to retire. Nobody will let me. But there we are. Got a nice email from Patrick, and he had bought, probably on my, he didn't really say whether it was on my advice or not, he bought the H clamp by Gordon Giltrap for position. I'll put a photograph here for positioning microphone all the time in the right position, the correct position for playing acoustic guitar. And yeah, he asked me in an email, he asked me where's the best place to put the microphone, and he said he does mostly country style, I suppose, strummy guitar work with vocals, bass, his own bass, and software drums. Not a bad combination. You can do some nice stuff with that. So I told him that Gordon asked me to have a look at the H clamp. Gordon's a very good friend of mine. He's a member of the Grand Road of Water Rats, like me, and like a lot of people. Rick Wakeman, Brian May, Nick Owen, Brian. Noisy bus. People like that. There's loads of Mike Bat. Loads of guys are in the Grand Road Water Rats with me. And I did have a good go with the H clamp, and it worked very well for Con and I when we were recording. I did find, being very picky, I did find that using it as Gordon was using it, very close in, seemed to give quite a zingy sound if you wanted it, by placing it between the body and the neck, just on that where it joins. That's the best place for getting a zingy, very choppy, strummy guitar sound. But I did find it was quite small for some of my work. So I said to Patrick, depending on the type of sound and the bigness of the sound, yes, the H clamp can work well. I would say not too close in. And as I say, the joint between the body and the neck, that is where to put the H clamp mic. To get the bigness, it's essential that you have a very good room acoustically. And I explained to him that what I do, depending on the work I'm doing, say if it's Spanish guitar, I've got a big piece of hardboard I put on the floor underneath me, and I've also got a very large plate glass mirror. And I can adjust the floor and the plate glass to give me the exact sound that I want. That's before I put on reverbs and all that, all the effects and all the compression and everything. So I get that part right, get the acoustics right. I always go for the completely dead acoustics in the first place. Very important, because the brighter the acoustics, the thinner the guitar will sound. To get the big sound then, the H clamp, yes, and then I would put a microphone a little bit away. The more microphones you put to record an acoustic guitar, the bigger, up to a point, the bigger the sound will be. If I'm doing a solo, say a very classy solo, single string solo, then I'll use about 3 microphones. Use the H clamp perhaps, or something close in on the mic, then about 3 feet away, then about 6 feet away. And if I want the sound to be even bigger, up to a point, then I'll get a stereo pair of good condenser mics up in the far corner of the studio. And that is probably, he balanced them all out. He went on about... about stereo and all that. Nice. Well, stereo is a funny old thing. It's to suit yourself. Create the stereo to suit yourself. That's what I always say. I don't bother that much with it because I know that the effects that I put on, the reverbs and that, are going to be, they're going to be huge stereo anyway. So there's no point in using stereo microphones in the first place. But there we are. That's how to get the biggest sound you can. Get the Zing E1 with the tight in microphone on the H clamp. That will give you the zingy sound that he's on about. And then the bigger the sound you want, that's it. And then sometimes, just finally, sometimes then I will, if there's a pickup available in the acoustic guitar, which there usually is, and I've had very expensive ones fitted to the Martins and the Gibsons that I've got, I use that as well. And sometimes in the mix of the whole thing, 3 or 4 microphones and the pickup, it's probably the pickup I'll use the most, and that will give me a very, very modern sound for a solo, say. So there we are, Dick Cluskey, Serious Writers Guild, struggling up this hill. It's very hard to give you an idea of the hills around here. It's the only problem with the downs is the hills are very extreme for walking, and for running you can't run them, seriously. You can just about walk them. Serious Writers Guild, 4 minutes on the net with Dick Cluskey, makehits.com. I'll get there in a minute. Bye. The home of the Serious Writers Guild.